So this guy was a class act all the way when we were kids, especially the 1974 Tops and OPG hockey set. He won one of the most beautiful cards of that issue. But Alec Delvecchio, boys, 75 years, give or take, supporting the Red Wings as a player, organizer, coach, GM, all different facets. He has passed away at age 93. Now, the native of the beautiful community of Fort William, Ontario, was an ice hockey player, coach, and GM who spent his entire career with the Red Wings. In a playing career that was as long as Gordie Howe, from 51 to 73, he played in 1,549 contests and recorded 1,281 points. At the time he was retired in the mid-70s, he was the second in NHL history in number of games played, assists, and points. He won the Lady Byng for sportsmanship and gentlemanly conduct 3 times, and helped the Red Wings win the Stanley Cup 3 times as part of their 1950 dynasty, where they outlasted Montreal. He is one of 3 NHL players to spend their entire career with one franchise and play at least 1,500 games. And the other 2, of course, are Red Wings, Hall of Famer Steve Yzerman and Hall of Famer Nicholas Lindstrom. Upon retiring in 73, he was named head coach of the Red Wings and also named the team GM in 74. He served in both roles until 77. Delvecchio was inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame in 77, and in 2017 was named as the 100 greatest players in NHL history. Now, a solid 5'11", 180, the center left wing, came up with the Oshawa Generals of the OHA and led the league in assists that year. He's made his NHL debut on March 25th, 51, playing in the Habs in the Red Wings' final game of the season. In 52, he spent 6 games with the team's minor league affiliate, the Indianapolis Capitals of the AHL, for whom he scored 9 points before joining the Red Wings full-time. He helped his team win the Stanley Cup that year. He went on to excel both at center and left wing for 22 full seasons, and was notable as a member of the production line with fellow Hall of Famers Gordie Howe and rugged Ted Lindsay. Now, in 57, Fats was laid up by a broken ankle for 22 games, but seldom missed a game thereafter, only 14 over the following 16 seasons of his career. In NHL history, Delvecchio was surpassed only by Nicholas Lidstrom in a number of games played in a career spent with only one squad. Despite his impressive career, Delvecchio was never the Red Wings' leading point scorer in the season, primarily due to Howe's presence. The closest he ever came, it was 1970, where he was just 3 points behind Howe for the squad lead. Now, Delvecchio obviously helped the team tremendously, especially in their original 6 era. But the problem is, he said in published reports, he said the era of the 1950s dominance of the Red Wings is long gone. And he was talking about, losing in 66 to Montreal in 6 games. Now, following his retirement as a player in 73, he served his 2 stints as Detroit's head coach and won as GM until leaving hockey in 77 to go into private business. He founded the very popular Alex Delvecchio Enterprises, which made and engraved plaques, signs, and promo products. An honored member of the Detroit Red Wings Alumni Association, he was active in efforts to raise money for children's charities in Metro Detroit. At the time of his retirement, he ranked second only to Howe in nearly every significant offensive category in Red Wings history. It has since been passed in most of these categories by Stevie Y and assists by Lidstrom, but he remains third behind Howe and Lidstrom in games played as a Red Wing. He died at his home in Rochester, Michigan, on July 1st, 2025, at the age of 93. Now, there's a large bronze statue of an ice hockey player in the act of shooting the puck. The player's hands and stick are shown numerous times to simulate motion. At the base of the statue is inscribed, Alex Delvecchio, born December 4, 31, Fort William, Ontario, Canada. Now, he started his career with the very, very venerable Fort William Rangers of the Thunder Bay Junior Hockey League. In 48, with 1 contest. 49, he played 12 games with Fort William, 16 goals. Now, he did play with Port Arthur Bruins in the Memorial Cup that year with 4 points in 5 games. Back to Fort William in 1950 with 36 points in 18 contests. Now, with the Oshawa Generals of the OHA, dynamite numbers, 49 goals, 72 assists for 121 points. Now, first game with the Red Wings in 51, that was the year the Leafs won the title. 52 helped them to a playoff title. Excuse me, not a playoff title. That year I'm getting confused. 37 points in 65 games. Detroit in 53 and 54 again. Stanley Cups, 59 points in 29. 55, 48 points in 70 games. Now, Red Wings hit the 25-goal mark in 56, 51 points, hit it again in 58. Best season for a lot of the people is 61, 62 points in 70 games. And again, consecutive 20-goal seasons in 68, 69, 70, 71, and 72. And he had a marginal play in his last season in 74, a goal and 4 assists for 5 points. Final NHL totals, 1,550 games, 456 goals, 825 assists, 1,281 points, 383 minutes in penalties, and these last few seasons in the league barely got over 10 minutes in penalties. I'd like to see what that major he took in 64. I don't think it was fighting. Now, in the postseason, 104 points in 121 contests, 35 goals. Again, third all-time in games played in a Red Wings uniform behind Lindstrom and Gordie Howe. Retired as overall leader in games played in a career spent with one team, passed by Lindstrom. Stanley Cup title winner in their dynasty of the 50s, 52, 54, 55. Of course, Montreal won in 53 with the Leafs in 51. Named a second-team All-Star in center at 53 and a left wing in 59. All-Star in game appearances, 53 to 59 inclusive, 61 to 65 inclusive, and 67, a total surpassed by only 6 players. Team captain for 12 years, surpassed by only Steve Yzerman. Remains 11th all-time in NHL history in games played and 27th in points scored. Third in points and goals and fourth in assists in Red Wings history. Number 82 and 100 greatest hockey players in 98. Number 10 was retired November 10th, 91. And in 2008, the commemorative statue was unveiled by artist Omri Amrani. And again, made 100 greatest list again in 2017. Now, had some okay seasons with the Red Wings, but never made the playoffs. This was after the before and after the Dion trade. 27, 31, and 9, 74. 23, 45, and 12 in 75. 19, 29, and 6 in 76. And then 13, 26, and 5 resigned in 77. And of course, the next year they made the playoffs. 245 games coach, 82, 131, 32. Not his fault, but Detroit didn't have much in the farm system, even though he picked up Jackman in the 75 campaign, 75 76 campaign from Detroit from Rangers. He had Rutherford. But Alex Delvecchio, I talked to Andy Bathgate many years, and Bathgate said one of the best class acts in NHL history, and for obvious reasons. But never took a bad hockey card. If you're looking for Detroit Red Wing to appear on a hockey card, besides Ted Lindsay and Gordie Howe, Delvecchio was one of them. And my God, ladies and gentlemen, he will be missed, because all the Red Wings, he's the last one to last survivor of that last Red Wings of the 50s era. He's the last one to die, so he will be missed. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing with our NHL Tribute podcast as part of Sports File, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.